Ever wondered what lurks in the world of shadows and secrets, where nations play a deadly game of chess? At the heart of this clandestine world sits one of the most powerful and controversial organizations in history, the Central Intelligence Agency, or CIA. For over 75 years, its actions have shaped global events, toppled governments, and sparked endless debate. Is it a necessary shield protecting national security, or a rogue elephant trampling on sovereignty and democratic ideals? Today, we're pulling back the curtain to uncover the secret history of the CIA. Our story begins in the smoldering ruins of World War II. The United States emerged as a global superpower, but a new, colder conflict was already brewing with the Soviet Union. President Harry Truman realized America's wartime intelligence agency, the Office of Strategic Services, or OSS, was no longer fit for this new era of espionage. The OSS, a swashbuckling organization famous for its daring missions behind enemy lines, was disbanded. But the need for a centralized peacetime intelligence service was undeniable. In 1947, Truman signed the National Security Act, and with a stroke of a pen, the Central Intelligence Agency was born. Its official mission was clear: to collect, analyze, and disseminate foreign intelligence. But hidden within its charter was a more ambiguous and far more controversial directive to perform other functions and duties related to intelligence affecting the national security. This vague clause would become the justification for decades of covert operations that would define the Cold War. As the Iron Curtain descended across Europe, the CIA became America's primary weapon in the ideological battle against communism. The world became a grand chessboard, and the agency was moving the pieces in secret. Its early years were marked by a series of audacious and often ruthless covert actions. In 1953, the CIA orchestrated Operation Ajax, a coup in Iran that overthrew the democratically elected Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh and reinstated the Shah. A year later, in 1954, Operation PubSucks did the same in Guatemala, toppling President Jacobo Arbenz. These operations, seen as victories in Washington, installed pro-American regimes but left a bitter legacy of anti-American sentiment that persists to this day. The agency's reach was truly global. In the Congo, it was implicated in the fall and eventual death of Patrice Lumumba. In Vietnam, it ran the controversial Phoenix program, a brutal counterinsurgency campaign. And perhaps most famously, there was the Bay of Pigs invasion in 1961, a disastrous failed attempt to overthrow Fidel Castro in Cuba, which became a massive embarrassment for the Kennedy administration and the agency itself. But not all of its operations were about coups and conflict. The CIA also engaged in cultural warfare. It secretly funded literary magazines, academic conferences, and even abstract expressionist art tours, all in an effort to showcase the intellectual and creative freedom of the West, in contrast to the rigid conformity of the Soviet bloc. Throughout this period, the agency operated with a level of autonomy and secrecy that was almost absolute. But that secrecy began to crumble in the 1970s. Congressional investigations, most notably the Church Committee, exposed a shocking history of domestic spying, assassination plots against foreign leaders, and bizarre mind control experiments like MKUltra. These revelations shattered the agency's public image and led to new laws and oversight designed to rein in its power. The cowboy days, it seemed, were over. Then, in 1991, the unthinkable happened. The Soviet Union, the CIA's adversary for over 4 decades, collapsed. The Cold War was over. Suddenly, the agency that was built to fight a single, monolithic enemy found itself without its primary mission. It was a profound identity crisis. What was the purpose of the CIA in a world without the USSR? The agency had to adapt or risk becoming obsolete. It began to shift its focus towards new and emerging threats: international drug trafficking, the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, and regional conflicts in places like the Balkans. This was a difficult transition. The skills needed to track a nuclear scientist in Pakistan were very different from those used to recruit a KGB agent in Moscow. The agency struggled to redefine its role, facing budget cuts and a sense of drift. Some critics even called for it to be dismantled entirely. But as the 20th century came to a close, A new and far more terrifying threat was gathering on the horizon, one that would soon force the CIA into its most dramatic transformation yet. On the morning of September 11, 2001, everything changed. The attacks on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon were not just a national tragedy. They were a catastrophic intelligence failure. The CIA, along with the entire U.S. intelligence community, had failed to connect the dots and prevent the deadliest attack on American soil. In the aftermath, the War on Terror was declared, and the CIA was thrust onto the front lines. The agency's budget and manpower exploded. Its mission was no longer just about intelligence gathering, but about actively hunting and eliminating terrorists around the globe. This new era saw the rise of drone warfare. The CIA operated Predators and Reapers, carrying out targeted strikes in Pakistan, Yemen, and Somalia. It also gave rise to one of the most controversial programs in the agency's history: enhanced interrogation techniques. The use of these brutal methods at secret black sites around the world sparked a global firestorm of condemnation and led to another painful public reckoning for the agency. The lines between intelligence agent and soldier blurred as the CIA became a paramilitary force, fighting a shadow war in some of the most dangerous places on Earth. The hunt for Osama bin Laden became the agency's defining mission. A decade-long manhunt that finally ended with a raid in Abbottabad, Pakistan. In 2011, clear operational success that also highlighted the complexities and moral compromises of this new kind of warfare. From its Cold War origins to its central role in the War on Terror, the CIA's journey has been one of constant adaptation in the face of evolving threats. Its history is a complex tapestry woven with threads of stunning success and catastrophic failure, patriotic sacrifice, and shocking abuses of power. The agency has been both a shield, protecting the nation from genuine dangers, and a sword, sometimes used to undermine the very democratic values it was meant to defend. Its legacy is a paradox, a story of secrets and contradictions that forces us to ask fundamental questions. In a free and open society, how much power should we give to a secret organization? How do we balance the need for security with the preservation of liberty? The world continues to change, and with it, the threats we face. The CIA will undoubtedly continue to operate in the shadows, its actions shaping our world in ways we may never fully know. The debate over its role, its methods, and its place in a democracy is far from over. In fact, it's more important now than ever. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into the world of espionage fascinating, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Let us know in the comments what you think about the CIA's complex legacy. Until next time.